Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. This is technically part two, 2B of our second chapter of this here. And we have some more guests with us here. We just had a conversation about the HIPAA violation, the fraud violation with her case. Now we have some other advocates and supporters here that are going to be, having a conversation with us. I'm going to swing over the camera angle so they can introduce themselves, and we'll start with my right side here. Hello.
Hello, my name is Joy, and I've known Jaime for 15, 16, probably 18 years now, 20.
Keep adding more years.
Yeah, it keeps adding. At least 16 full years.
Wow. Okay. So you guys are friends?
Yep, we've gone to church with each other forever, and my oldest started babysitting her kids. First babysitting job she had. She's like, yes, I would love a babysitter, and we've gotten to know all the kids through babysitting and becoming friends.
Okay. Thank you for joining us. And who do we have in front of me here?
Good day. My name is Tuena Marie, and I just met the mother right now. And I just feel very attached to her story in a lot of ways. And I'm just here to support. And, she's encouraging me to tell my story a little bit, too. So I can relate on the end of the children being... I didn't get it taken away or anything from my parents, but I believe that's because my parents didn't do what she's doing. Yeah. But my stepfather, he's responsible for bringing Jesse Jackson, to our home. So I was not taken away, but the cover up is real. It's real.
And the mother is here. What I would like to do is, since your friend here, good friend is here, maybe we can start from your friend sharing your everything you know about this, pretty much from the beginning of it to where we are right now. So,
she's amazing. She does child development, so she's been around kids and just on point and just so sensitive to them, and seeing how she has interacted and with them has taught me a lot in my life, especially when I had my little ones. She was always the one I would go to at the time.
Yeah.
I feel like I should switch seats.
No.
I already got the angles set up, so it's not.
I feel the love in between them. It's
but yeah, can you talk to us about this situation? What was your name again?
Joy.
Joy. Supporting your friend. And pretty much, the things that you've witnessed and what she's been going through.
When I first met Jaime, she was pregnant with her youngest, and just really having a really bad pregnancy. Not good health-wise. Got to know her a little bit more. She was able to carry him, give birth. Everything was good with him, not so good with her, but she did bounce back health-wise. And then her and the ex were having some good, that's when the starting of the marital problems kicked in. And it's like, well, maybe we need to try the date night, the couples therapy, the get away from the kids, get back into us. And that's when my oldest started babysitting for him. And there was a couple of times that my oldest I called me, he's like, I don't know what to do with XYZ. Come and help, come rescue me. I don't know what to do with this situation. So I'd come over and help babysit for them for a little while. And I always saw Jaime taking care of the children. Sorry.
It's okay.
I always saw her taking care of them. There was no ex involved. If ex was there, he was doing his own thing. If the kids wanted him, it's give me 5, 2 minutes of his time, and then he's off doing something else. Very not helpful, not hands-on, very, I don't know how to,
Like uninvolved.
yeah, very uninvolved. If I was there, it was like, okay, I'm off duty. I'm just going to go do my thing. And it's like, not really, but okay. I would have to ask the older kids, okay, I need a diaper, I need extra clothes. And they would have to go get stuff for me and give her a minute of herself. But as I was getting to know them, I noticed that the kids were not very verbal. The youngest ones were not very verbal. They had the whole tendency of lashing out, the anger, the meltdowns, typical age. But as I got to know them more, it's like, this is not typical. And the ex is wanting to diagnose them. It's like, you can't diagnose at a certain age. You have to be over 3, and you have to have more than 2 doctor's visits to be diagnosed with anything. And it's like, oh no, he's just good. He's just having a temper tantrum. Oh, he's just melting down. I'm just going to leave it. It's like, you can't just leave it, especially if he's going to self-harm or he's trying to harm siblings. You have to step in and say, okay, teaching moment of, if you're mad at your sister, you don't throw shoes at her. You walk away. You ask for help. You go tell mom, or, get the help started. But as the ex deployed, everything shifted onto her. The house, the kids, the money, the everything. And you could see the stress just building and building. And the kids kind of saw it, kind of got a little bit more emotional. My oldest would go over and babysit or help, just tackle the house, laundry needs to get done, shopping needs to get done. I can't do both. And it was just a lot of build up. And then while he was deployed, I got a frantic call from her. It's like, something's happening. I don't know what's going on. Something is crazy. He's not being truthful. He's not, something's going on. And then that's when the mother decided, okay, I'm going to have my kids babysat. I'm just going to go overseas, see what on earth is going on with him mentally, physically, all the above.
Yeah.
And when she came back, it's like, okay, he's not going to last that long in the military. He's going to either get discharged, he's going to get, something's going to happen. So we're going to have to downsize the house, get the financial in check. And she moved out closer to where I lived, about 30 minutes away from anything and everything. Try to get the kids to be calmer, less distraction with neighbors, environment, get more pets, because pets are really soothing to the children. But as he came home, it just did not work. It just spiraled down, and he's like, no, I can't do this. Like, we can't, it's too far out. And then the oldest had a medical emergency, and that just like, boom, that's my reason why you can't be here. We got to get back onto the base. We have to get into different housing because it's just not safe. And what you're doing while I was gone was nothing that I agreed to.
Yeah.
And so it just spiraled from there. And then we actually lost touch for a little while. My personal family went a little crazy. But next thing that I had contact with her was she had moved up to Utah, try to defuse the situation, get her bearings, see what legal rights she had. And then that's when she started texting me or emailing me about the whole identity theft and people messing with her accounts. And it's like, why do I have like 3 different phone numbers from you? And I'm getting 3 different people if I try to reach back. But I know it was really hard on the kids. And when my oldest tried to visit, just like a pop-in, because the mother asked, like, just do a pop-in. I just need to see, make sure someone else sees them, they're doing good. My oldest went and tried to visit, and he's like, nope, they're good. Bye. Thanks for stopping. Wouldn't let her interact with the kids.
Yeah.
They knew that she was there, but it was not a warm greeting. But with the identity theft, it was just adding more stress, more complication. And then after the mother losing track of losing the baby just made it worse. The state took her, can't even give her information of, well, we placed her in this home and now we can track said baby. They can't do that, or they won't do that for her.
The state took the baby.
Medically kidnapped. Yes.
Medically kidnapped.
Her sister is a Banner pediatric
Retired nurse.
And so she was there in the phone calls, and then even when they did the ex parte removal for the child, talking to her, and as we're breaking it down with the recording, she says, these dates are not correct. Was Phoebe born in February? She was not. She was born in March. There is no way she could do that. They have to redo this all over again. And just other things in that documentation that they lied. That's where I'm just like, what do I have to do if I cannot trust the system from the police with the child molestation case? And then a week later, now you're taking my kids, so all eyes are on me to say what you want, when I have the audios that are recorded versus what they say, which is hearsay assumptions about me, to make sure that they're accountable. And then when it goes to court, they don't submit any of the evidence. That I have friends, not family, none of my family, adopted family, showed up for my child. I had friends from base to base to base, from Florida to Texas to Arizona, all come for court, and even one in Alaska. And so they were all there, and they said, this is stuff you see on a movie. You don't see people medically force you away, or when they're quiet on the phone talking to DCS, and then they're saying they're not doing their part. And even though they did and submitted it to their DCS or whoever out of state, and then when the DCS gets off the phone, they're upset and like, oh, heck no, because they're realizing there's a lying game, and that no matter what they do, that's just a snippet of them getting that little proof of my life, which I live every day. And that's something that I feel like anybody that feels like they can't speak to have the courage and the faith to say.
Yes.
So, yes, my child was taken, medically kidnapped from me. And there's nothing I can do. That's where this audio right here from the attorney, which I believe I played it before, but I'll play it one more time. But she said this about Arizona right here.
Is it about a 7 to 10
Right here,
ratio?
sorry.
The ratio of people living all over Arizona versus the people living within Maricopa County, is it about a 7 to 10 ratio? So if there are 10 people in Arizona, 7 of them are in Maricopa County, roughly. Maricopa County in Arizona has the highest rate of involuntary parent-child terminations in the nation. We lead the nation in the most dubious race possible. If you are Black or Latino, if you are non-white, you are doubly in danger of losing your parents.
So they find any way to target you and take away your kids.
I don't know why, and I have my theories, and I don't want to dive into that on this call because I don't have time. I've got a court hearing with DCS.
But I will let you.
So just stuff like that when you hear, you wonder who you can trust, especially when I played that audio of checking up on my kids after right here. Like, this is a video of my daughter she's so sweet, so little. I had to use the phone of a video. that just taking her like that, for any mother who's going through postpartum, or whether, you know, just healing from that delivery. I mean, it's a trauma. Your body's going through so much through your hormones, but to be able to deal with your child be taken away, but the week prior to that, knowing that your daughter said that her dad took her innocence away, I mean, that's a lot for anybody to go through. And so that for me, I think it's wrong. And right here, I'll just play the snippet.
Yep.
How do you know that it's not liable?
The dates are wrong.
So if the dates are wrong,
The paper is not accurate.
So what if it's not accurate? What does that mean?
It means they need to do it all over. Because if you're having the date, which is February,
She
wasn't born until March, right?
Yes, March 18th.
Yeah. So there's no way she could have been discharged from Phoenix Children's in February.
So there's a bunch more into that where we'd break it down, but that's just a snippet out of like the 7-minute audio of the assumptions, presumptions, and messy, sloppy mess that they did to lie and medically kidnap my child because I exposed what my ex-husband in the military does. Supposedly, I'm assuming, but it doesn't make sense with the forensic and everything else. So I'm just trying to make sure that other peoples that are that have gone through abuse, like I said, emotionally, physically, or sexually, or anything like that, that are victims, military spouses, it doesn't matter what you've gone through, that your voices matter, because I just want my kids to know that I was fighting for them to tell the truth.
Do you have access to your kids now? Are you able to see your kids?
I don't, actually. My children, after they took them away, DCS lied about visitations, and I kept trying to call, and they just didn't do anything. They told me when I delivered my daughter in the hospital, these two ladies were there for the delivery, and she left, and when DCS was doing what they were going to do, they came down very quickly to driving straight down, and I told him I still have rights if you're taking me out of the hospital. My child's going with them. When they drove 12 hours straight, they made sure that my baby was removed from that hospital. And so I have that statement that they wrote looking for my daughter because they did not stop. And then they also texted the DCS person over that case, and she never responded. And so they wanted to make sure my kid was out of the system that way. And so out in their system. And so that's where I'm just trying to see, like, I have not had any contact because of the dishonesty. I had one call once, which was right before they dismissed the case. And it was my daughter, my little one, who her innocence were taken away. And all I got from her was, I don't want to be with Dad. And that I want to be with you, and I pray for you every day. So, I have not heard from my kids. I have dropped off packages and had people reach out, so they will always remember that I'm there and that I love them. They did an order of protection supposedly against me for I don't know what, because I haven't done anything. Even, like I said, beating from the beginning of the plot that my ex did with the military. So it really doesn't make sense why I should have an order of protection against me from the beginning of the child molestation case when the judge put one child on that child molestation case. It did not remove all my children. There's a lot of laws being broken, so why do I have an order of protection when I've been honest and true with the facts and the truth? And even when I have welfare checks that I have in the past of order protections being denied, I should not have a child look this skinny in a home when she's sick at Dad's. That's disgusting. That is not what a child should have to go through, but have the police not follow their welfare check because they're protecting someone with someone who is not a good person.
Watching your friend go through these things, what have you done to kind of like support her? Like, you're here today, which is very supportive, but like in this particular situation, which is kind of unique, you know, you have the government, like, are you concerned for I guess, like, how big this can be, or her well-being, or the magnitude of this, like, as you try to support her?
I know it's going to get big and it's going to get ugly unless someone higher up takes that paperwork and says, okay, I'm going to put the blame on me. I'm going to fix this. We're going to see how many people need to be held accountable. It's going to get ugly.
Yeah.
And I pray that she'll be safe and that there's no more harm become to her children or to herself, because she's trying to expose all the laws and all of the many regulations that many companies and many government agencies have broken. Yeah. And being off the grid is probably the best thing for her right now, because you never know who is going to be doing whoever's dirty work. Someone's going to not want this to come out because, oh, we're the military. We take care of our own and we can do this and that and that. But when you're having more government agencies involved, there's going to be more and more cover-up. There's going to be blowback on someone or something, and it's going to be hard.
But when you have cancer, like even with the person that was here for identity theft and how we met and our stories align, I feel like I'm already dying with cancer all over my body. And I think, you felt the nodules in my arms. They're all over. And so for me, I feel like I'm dying anyways. I mean, the doctors aren't helping me. So what do they have to do? If they want to kill me, they're already killing me. So if someone tries to take out my life or cover up their crap, like, okay, oh well, it's the fact that I tried. It's the fact that I'm here telling my story no matter what happens, that my kids know that I never stopped fighting for them and standing for courage and bravery for everybody else, though.
Tuena, you have expressed to me that so for one thing, Tuena and I, we do music and whatnot, but then we also have conversations about, like, how can we help people? Yeah. How can we help children? And she had expressed to me, not even on some conspiracy stuff, like, it's not really a conspiracy anymore. Like, there are things that are happening that people in power are letting happen, and no one's doing anything about it. And so, when this situation was brought to me by Miles, we had a conversation yesterday, but then I also, at the end of our conversation, told you we still have to bring in more people that can that understand this and want to spread the message of it, that want to share the message. So thank you, Tuena, for being here to.
Thank you for encouraging me to tell my story. It's not that I'm ashamed of it. It's just that it was so long ago and nothing happened. And there's a stigma on people that have been molested. Oh, she's going to be paranoid of every man and this and that. Or, I'm a lesbian now. All this because she was, it's just so many things that swirl around. But what I do know is I was groomed from age 6 until I was 15. And my stepfather, I didn't know he was a high-ranking government official in Little Rock, Arkansas. And to me, Arkansas is a cesspool, like, for molestation. You don't meet girls that have not been molested often, So and I looked up the crime rate in Little Rock, Arkansas. From 1 to 100%, it's 95%.
Wow.
So it's like,
it's such a small community there.
Yeah, it's really small, but it's so southern that people aren't really paying attention to the incest and sexual molestation. It's like, it's just like everybody goes through that. It's not. But my stepfather, the unique thing about him was I feel like he chose my mother, and it was not the first time. I couldn't really prove that, but the fact that he went on to be on the board of a little girls soccer team he coached. He was on the board of the YMCA, and I remember, by the time I came to a place of healing to decide to do anything about it, I was a year over my statute of limitations. So I was going to And
That's
what
7 years, right?
yeah,
Statute of
it's I
limitation.
guess so. Yeah, I was
Okay.
yeah, I believe so. But that to me is even planned. They know that you're going to be traumatized for a while. You're not going to be able to speak about it. So you're going to, they I feel like there's some handbook somewhere that they
Yeah.
pass around to each other, and there's a system on how to do this stuff. And so my situation, I was groomed from 6. I didn't know that it wasn't normal to be fondled.
Yeah.
I'd be running around in my ballet tutu, and I remember the grooming, like how I was groomed. My mom was literally sitting here, and he put me on his left leg, and this hand, I remember going up into the tutu, and I remember feeling like this is uncomfortable, but as a child, you're thinking, okay, mom's here. I feel like he knew that all of that would take place to get me groomed enough to be touched from 6 to 9, and then from 9 to 15 penetrated.
Yeah.
But he got away with it, but he also bragged about it, like, when I would have these really heroic moments where I'm like, I'm gonna tell on you, and he's like, nobody's gonna believe you.
He was a political.
Yes, his name, I don't even care. We can't say names, is that the thing? No.
You can say his name.
Okay, his name is Odise Wilson III.
Is he still alive?
No, he passed away last year.
Oh, okay.
And there was nothing done on his
Yeah.
behalf. Like, he didn't go to court, but he told me, like, if you tell, I have judge friends, I have doctors and lawyers, and I have all of this stuff for me, and you're just some little girl getting in trouble at school. Nobody's going to believe you. And he was right. Like, the way that they interviewed me as even down from the pap smear at the hospital. For one, you don't have a man come in to do a girl's pap smear when she's been molested or raped. I'm stop saying molested, it was rape.
Yeah.
And he burned my vajayjay with the light. And I couldn't complete the pap smear because I totally clammed up. And then from speaking to the detectives, I'm 15, and he's like, show me with these dolls what happened to you. 2 little stuffed dolls.
And you're 15 years old.
My dad was in the room, and I'm looking at my dad like, I just like, can we get out of here? And then I just wanted it to be done. I didn't want the.
Yeah.
So I easily.
What was he doing in there? I'm just shocked that he was there during that duration of time.
Yeah, the way he was questioning me, I knew he didn't believe me, and that's a part of the system too. So when I finally snapped to, and tried to call the stations, like, can I just have my file? Oh, it was gone, totally gone. The guy that did my case, he moved shortly after. He went to another state, like, so it's really like I was gonna do the civil thing, but I feel like I was unconsciously advised by a lady at the Gazette, Little Rock Gazette paper. I finally got her to call me back, and she's like, do you know that your stepfather was a high-ranking government official? I'm like, no, I didn't really know the titles. I was young. She's like, well, he is, and that was the last I heard from her.
Wow. Have you confronted, or did you confront him as an adult?
Oh yeah.
And how did that?
So I had a repressed memory situation go off. I was probably about 21 or 22, engaged to he's ex-husband now, but we were watching a commercial and something triggered a repressed memory, a color, and so I was like, that color is so familiar. I said, I think my stepfather used to give me baby blue capsules. And I was like, I'm going to call him. And he's like, okay. So I called him. It was a strange dynamic. My brother still lived with him for a while. He didn't believe me. It was just a big mess. So if I wanted to speak to my brother, I could just call the house.
Yeah.
Even if he answered, I'd have to go, hey, let me speak to my brother. It was kind of,
Yeah.
So I finally... I called him, he answered, and since I had, my ex-husband at that time, we were engaged, we were just sharing a phone receiver, like listening. And since I'm like, oh, he's talking about it, I'm going to go there. I got graphic, like, what would cause you to stick your, I was trying to be as graphic as I could to since I have a witness. And this man literally said he was trying to show me how to protect myself, and he didn't have control over my mother, but in a sense he had control. It was kind of a twisted conversation, not one that you would be able to comprehend. And so even my ex-husband at the time, he gave me the like, we got to get off of this phone. So I remember telling him, I think it was very disgusting what you did, and you're going to get your karma one day. You're going to die by yourself, alone. You're not going to have any friends. You may have gotten away with the system, but there is a karmic law that you're going to have to answer to. And he died alone in his house. Somebody did a check on him. He was dead for like 2 days.
Oh, wow.
Karma hit him. So
Yeah.
that's my message to the pedophiles.
Yeah. And you could have recorded that conversation too. I'm thinking about like you could have recorded him to
At
like
that
kind of explain-
time,
but you probably didn't think of thinking it right.
I was
like-
just so shocked that he was even speaking about it, because I had tried to get him talking about it with people on three-way, and I don't know what you're talking about. You know? But it was too fresh at that time. So.
And that I imagine that's part of your healing journey is just being able to talk about it.
Yeah.
You know, especially with the perpetrator, with the raper, you know, confronting them, that suppressed memory came up and you confronted it.
Yeah.
So that's a big.
Yeah. And he confirmed that he was giving me baby blue capsules, but he's like, you could call your brother. I was a health nut, and I was giving everyone those. It was something, because he would make us drink raw eggs and a bunch of weird stuff. But I called my brother, and he's like, no, I don't remember any baby blue capsules, but I do remember having some female issues go on at a young age, like 9.
Yeah.
And I think he possibly gave me some kind of disease and was trying to clear it up himself with whatever he was taking. So
what advice would you have for like the mother here in her situation of maybe what she should do or not do, or
try not to blame yourself, like I put them in this situation, or anything of that nature. Just stay strong. It's really hard to speak to her, like, because it's anything that I say, I feel like it's going to be easier said than done. And I just think she just needs to keep that spirit that she has, and keep talking and keep following her leads, that God, source, universe, like you said, whatever they call, it's leading you and guiding you. Keep your ears open, and
I think just by meeting you, everybody that I met, that I'd bring like joy, or the person that, that is identity theft, and how I met her, which she was assigned with the cancer, which before things continue to metastasize, or you coming in and sharing your story, which reminds me of that my daughter can turn out just right.
Oh.
I think seeing you and those that are hearing this and spreading the message that your story does matter, and that we're all broken, but because of our broken pieces, they are beautifully designed as we work together side by side. And so when I hear your story, and as you have the courage and faith for the first time to share it, to know that you are brave, that gives me hope and other people hope to not be quiet, to stand and fight the good fight with faith. And I think at this time that as God, higher power, energy, you can just say thoughts come in, or God told me this, it doesn't matter. It's following your intuition, that coming back into the lion's den, which most people do not do, and I was not going to, that I wanted for people to know that as we share our story, it could be that beacon of hope. And today, you were my sign to know that everything, no matter what happens, could be fine for my kids, despite what they've gone through, that they could turn out to great human beings. So that's what helps me push through and fight the good fight through all the things we go through. and not to give power to cancer or this or he did this, to say no, because of it I'm a standing witness that no one can take who I am because I'm stronger of it. And because of the thing that we everyone, as I've learned with psychology, with things that have helped me through counseling and other methods, I remember everyone's an addict, everyone has a habit. And I was like, okay. And so when I did the 12 step, and doesn't matter, I don't do pornography, I don't drink, but I overanalyze, I people please, I do this. And I broke those steps down. And that's when I realized in my inner self that the things that opened up those inner wounds. And that's really, I think, what those issues bring those people that something's happened to your dad, or something happened traumatic to my ex-husband, and it promotes those emotions inside because people don't talk about it, or they leave those words in, but they don't find outlets to use. And so I feel like being guided by universe, energy, God, to meet Miles, to meet you, and I pray more people come to share their stories of what they've gone through, will have that rippled effect, that the core foundation, like a sun, like this is the core of it. But each person aligned, like the beacon of hope that radiates and shines, it's each individual of you that's hearing this at this time. And that's where I think it will promote for a beacon of hope through this business, through you, that it'll continue to have that rippled effect as we all promote to do what's right. Yeah. So I'm sorry for speaking so much.
No, thank you. Thank you for your encouragement and your boldness, and you're doing so much. You're so brave, strong. Keep that strength. What's your zodiac sign, if you don't mind?
Scorpio.
Yes, you are.
Yes,
my jewel. Yeah,
yes.
That makes sense. Your energy is okay.
So yes, so just post, share, and help others. I guess that's all I would say. Get the story out and know your voices can be raised.
I'm gonna be praying for your babies and praying for their protection. And yes, they can. I feel like that experience, I wouldn't, if it would change what happened to me, I wouldn't be who I am, and I wouldn't take it away. And I feel like, in a sense, I came here to learn that, to go through that, so that I could be an advocate like yourself.
I feel that.
You're kind of sparking me, because it was just a thought, and me just talking about how I want to, I've been doing music. I have a song with Tupac and all that stuff. But to me, my greatest accomplishment would be to see a change in what you're talking about.
Society.
I didn't have even the proof of what you're talking about. I sit and talk to my lady about it. Like, I'm sure that the CPS systems and all of these people are in on the sex trafficking, and it all ties together. And
to have it, you don't get that, and to have that on there, that's what's shocking to see.
Yeah.
And that's when I know God's like, use this story. And I did share that yesterday, didn't I not?
No. You didn't share it now?
Let me see. It was, I did not put them in it, but this was like the forensic where I said right before that DC.
I'm here at the Hidden Help right now. I'm worried and franticing, and this morning started off with my car dying, and then paperwork being left behind outside, and just a lot, and just worried about my child. They're going to just talk to them, and that's about it. It's their word against what they said outside. Even when I went to court yesterday, they said that a 5-year-old statement is not enough. But how would a 5-year-old know that stuff? So I'm just praying they do their job right, and they don't just rebuttal it like everything else.
And then after that, I talked to my son, and they said your kids never said anything. And that audio, I think, is in a different spot, which I'll have to post that up. this was when they walked out the door, and that's when he said this. And that's when I'm like, my kids don't lie.
I told them that when we went to the temple, Fifi told you the truth about Dad. She said that Dad said he was touching her.
And what else?
I said about was that her pee-pee and stuff like that.
Okay.
And just more stuff. And then after that, I went to, this was on Facebook. They took it down and changed stuff, but it was, as you can see right here, Jaime was live. And so the person said the cops and the people are a bunch of a-holes. They mentioned they would give, in the audio with other people that heard that they would make a statement for this case. They said it's about the money. And above, you'll see the picture of the car, the Jeep that pulled in front of us. And that Jeep, after this person made their statement, said that they would help. What's crazy is right here with DCS and the police that was at the forensic, the military shows up. And that's not government jurisdiction to be at the forensic at all. That is not. So to have that and to have the person say, you're exposing DCS as well as the military as well as the cops for what they do, as he says that he hears them all the time, it's about money. And the fact that I have documentation through the courts that I get $300 for child support for 4 kids, and that I paid $20,000, and then now that they took he makes over $8,000 being E6, that doesn't make any sense at all. And so people are like, why is he an asset? And so when I see all this, it totally makes sense and clicks. It's the smartest way to do, because they make payments off of, we'll boost up the foster parents and we'll pay and take them up, pray off the weak and lie. So people won't find out that way. And I think it's not a good system. It's not right. It's not good. I mean, like I showed you here, they took away my kids, my baby.
How soon after your baby was born?
It was like 3 or 4 days. This was like when I left, as they told me to move up to the friend that drove there. This is her room. I had it all set up. I had a psych evaluation done within that week. When I arrived, I had 2 jobs. I had everything dotted, like, here you go. But the one thing they did not have was a birth certificate. So they still stole my child while I had everything ready. But they kept asking for more evidence and more things. And I remember praying, and I got, that's just a setup. And to hear that they lost the paternity test for 4 months, that's a bunch of lie. You don't lose a paternity test for 4 months. I could easily, as quick as the Lord provided, or energy, or whatever you guys call it out there, to have a place set up so quick, and 2 jobs and a psych evaluation and do a drug screen and submit it through those emails, and them not even submitting it to court. That's where I'm just like, what is there to do? I did not know what I was exposing at the time, because I was pregnant, and that was a lot for anybody to go through, as you're like, what the heck do you do next? How do you protect your kids? How do you, as you played the audio, to make sure as this is going down, as you're delivering, and you have the officer, and he says, he says that, I have many order protections that played yesterday.
From church, call them too. I have not gotten a response of where they are or what's going on. So I am concerned for the safety of my kids, because I have text message asking where they are, sir.
Did you have a text message stating what?
I said I am trying to locate them. I've contacted them through text messages. I've had other people call and text message them from church. I have not heard from them from the past couple of days, sir. And I am worried about my kids.
Okay, I understand.
So I just have people that have been aware and writing statements to other things to show what's been going on in this whole entire manner of this ridiculous situation in general, not just this but past. And I just want to make sure my kids are safe right now.
Okay. So there's not a reason for me to go out to the house to ensure their safety. It seems like there's a lot of orders of protections that are
And that's what's concerning. There's lots of order protections, but I don't think there's no reason to go out there to perform a welfare check on your kids. That doesn't make any sense. It's like somebody saying, I don't mean to say, but it's like on the news, we have cocaine in the Oval Room, but we have the best security here. We do not know how it's gotten here. That sounds like the most stupidest lies, and I'm like, okay, so if this is going down, what else can I do to make sure that my kids are safe? What else can I do to make sure that no one should ever touch a child? That no child should ever have to be as skinny as I showed, but they won't perform a welfare check on my child. I feel like I've lost hope. And so all I can do is share my story and you share yours and more people share their stories and raise their voice. I mean, if I have one life to live and as this sweet friend has concerns, I mean, anybody would. But at the same time, I'm dying with cancer, as the other person said, and with the documents. But I'm liability to the government. Unless there's a doctor out there, somebody knows and says, let's help her and, help me live. I mean, it's okay. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying, like, God wants the story out. Energy, everybody wants it out. So just share this story and just help everybody out. That's all I can say at the end of this today.
All right. I don't have anything else to add to this. So I appreciate both of you coming on, you sharing your story. Tuena, thank you for sharing that. If anyone out there is experiencing any type of abuse, I'm gonna drop a hotline number at the bottom here. So make sure you call that number there. If you're in any type of child abuse, domestic abuse situation, make sure you reach out and get some help. And speak up for yourself. Make sure you tell somebody and continue to advocate for yourself. You're your number one advocator. And advocate for other people. If you suspect something's wrong, ask questions. Okay.